Now recording.
All right. Now I'll play the music. Okay. So, a recap of the very short game last week. You had traveled to High Hilt for the reenactment, only to find out that the Ironclad Mercenaries, or whatever her band was called, or at least some of the Ironclad Regiment, had turned on Cudgel and were attempting to kill, for real, many of Wagler's citizenry. It was pretty violent, obviously, and but your group was able to not only defeat the few that were coming after you, but also the lieutenant, Cudgel's lieutenant, the half ogre Gorgonus, and took a prisoner thanks to Brian's sleep spell. Found a few survivors, burned the dead, or however they wanted to handle that part, and marched with everyone else back to Vogler, where you all met in the Brass Crab, and this is where there's going to be a slight retcon to what happened last time, now that I've actually read in detail what had happened. So the mercenary was brought out into the center of the Brass Crab with his chest and arms bound by a fishing net. And he was placed in the center of the room as Cudgel mostly yelled at him. It was supposed to be an interrogation, but you could tell she was extremely upset. And she would cut him off sometimes and yell, and then she'd cross her arms and go back in the room and pace and storm and fume. But in the course of the interrogation, you learned that Gorgonus had taken a bribe, a considerable amount of gold, from an unknown soldier wearing black and red armor. He had then returned to the camp and selected those members of the Ironclad Regiment that he thought were more loyal to him than to Cudgel, and decided to stage this little coup during the High Hill reenactment. As far as he is aware, or at least as far as he's willing to report, the remaining soldiers at camp are still loyal to her, including her other lieutenant, JF. And after the interrogation, she packs up her kit and says that she is heading back to her regiment to make sure what he said is true, to weed out any more dissenters in the ranks and make sure that everything is in order, because it sounds like Vogler might be in trouble. He also mentioned that there was a sizable force to the west of Vogler, although he didn't have exact numbers and he hadn't exactly seen it himself. This is what he was told through Gorgonus. So after Cudgel leaves, the mayor, Raven, is just brainstorming with Becklin the Knight. And she suggests, Becklin does, that they should get a recon of the forces outside of Vogler to see exactly what they're dealing with. Now, Raven has a few hunters in town that she thinks she could coerce to do it. But she looks at the group like,
Hey, how you doing?
how you doing? You guys look like fresh meat.
You look like suckers.
Yeah. She will not outright ask. So unless you volunteer, she will send her scouts in the morning.
I could scout it out for you if you want.
Can you remain hidden?
I've been doing it a long time in the woods.
He said a few miles west. Do you think you could report back by mid-morning tomorrow, and we'll go from there?
Sure. I could go tonight. Start looking.
Oh, that would be fantastic. She'll step off to the side with you for a moment. She says, "I don't mean to pry, but someone said you did something on the battlefield quite uncommon and potentially spectacular. Is this true? Do you know what I'm speaking of?"
I don't know. What have you heard?
Some of the townsfolk are saying that the king, that Habakkuk has returned. That the Kingfisher himself has seen fit to help our town in its time of most dire need.
I pull out my holy symbol. I received this from his avatar only 2 days ago.
Forgive me for not knowing how I'm supposed to react to that news. It's been centuries since the gods have been sighted. Color me skeptical, I suppose. I hope this is true. Perhaps then your reconnaissance will be blessed by one of the gods.
I hope so. But I should be able to get in the camp. I don't know if my compatriots are planning on coming with me or not, but I can get in and out unseen, I believe.
Like we can supply basic goods that you might need if you need anything not too complicated. More arrows, maybe, or some rope. I don't know what you would need.
No, is anybody else there with us, or is it just me and her?
Everyone's in the brass crab, but she stepped off to the side to talk to you for a minute.
I can ask them if there's anything they need.
What are the rest of you doing when all this is going on? They're not doing anything.
They're staring into space, waiting for treasure.
Yeah. Not everybody is here. This was from the funeral night. She's off to the side with you. And she's here. And he's probably here. And most of these people are not here.
Where's the dude that's being interrogated?
Cudgel's gone. Oh, yeah, good point. He'd probably be seated right here, let's say. Oh, no,
Right.
that's where these guys are talking. Yeah, whatever.
I'm gonna ask him about a little bit more details. Like, so who is this knight in black and red?
Make a intimidation or persuasion check.
Intimidation sucks. Persuasion sucks. It doesn't really matter.
You have a muffled mic. I don't know if it's
He's
your
on the wrong mic.
headphones again. Yeah. That is a failure. He looks at you and says, "Who are you to talk to me?"
Mouse.
How's that?
Ah.
That's better, yeah.
All right.
Seems that Docker will kind of smile to himself and walk over. Yeah, who is this person in black and red armor? Or were they reptilian? Perhaps you should tell me before I cave your head in.
You know what
Make a
this is
persuasion roll.
Yeah. With disadvantage. Because you're scaring him. Okay.
Seduction?
That is good enough. He honestly did not see the figure. All he knows is that they were hooded and wore black and red armor. Gregonis was, he will say, intimidated. He gave the impression that he was intimidated by whoever it was that paid him. And it takes a lot to intimidate a half-ogre.
So you
But
may
he
not
mentioned
know,
nothing about... Go ahead.
you may not know this person's identity per se, but your leader must have let something spill about who they are or what they stood for somewhere along the way.
He said war is coming. He said Vogler was just the first step in their plans. A small speed bump on their conquest of Ansalon. Speed bump would probably not be a term they would use, but I'm using it.
Carriages weren't that fast yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So who would want to take over all of Ansalon?
Make a history check, everybody who's dealing with this guy.
Well, did they look like they had horns under their hood?
I didn't see him. I wasn't there.
Oh.
All right, Bezel, you've been hearing rumors that there are armies moving to the east. In fact, there's been so little communication with the east that it's suspicious. And the rumors that you've been hearing are that areas have been falling one by one to some unknown army. It would, and like Docker's already surmised, it would line up with the weird draconians you saw, well, the lizard people with wings that you saw on the road on your way to Vogler in the first place.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Know,
Go ahead. Sorry.
what do we know about lizard people? Was this?
You were not there actually, but these three.
Oh,
Oh no, two of these guys faced off with some draconians on their way here, or some strange lizard people that turned to stone when they died or exploded. I forgot what they did.
Didn't they
I think it was one of
have
each.
like noxious fumes or something when they died? I can't.
Yes, it was something like that. Yeah. And then there's no body left behind to show for it.
So timeline-wise, this is what we're doing now is taking place alongside the
It is
Dragonlance Chronicles War of the Lands.
Oh, yes, it is concurrent with that. I mean, if you
So
read
we
the
wouldn't have heard
books, right? There's an
we wouldn't
event that
have heard of
happens in
lizard
this
people.
adventure that actually is out of the timeline. So chronologically, it's slightly off. But yeah, this is the point where the gods haven't come back yet. The dragons are still missing. And the dragon armies are first making their conquests of the northern areas. Like if you look at, let's see, we'll go to a map. We'll go to the main map here. You look at the Ansalon poster map. You are where? Oh yeah, you're way up here, right? This is Calaman. And Vogler is right here. And the War of the Lance, the whole first books and all that, takes place pretty much down here. Like near Qualinesti and stuff.
Where's
Along
the
there.
rumors of this army that?
Mostly over in this side of the world.
Okay. And I'm coming to the conclusion that maybe that's the lizard people?
That these guys are, oh, yeah, it's possible. I mean,
There's no details on the army,
no, right. It's all rumor right now. No one's
Okay.
come back from it to tell the tale.
I missed something because I was trying to read character sheet stuff. Why are we questioning this guy about the red and black armored figure?
They're just trying to get more information about who's coming. I think Docker's looking for confirmation that it's more of these draconians.
Oh, okay.
So in the meantime, it sounds like Rin is going on a scouting mission, unassisted by his companions.
Well, we don't know that yet, do we? If he's off in another room.
Well, I think he volunteered, and then she took him off to the side to talk more about his recent holy whatnot.
Because if Rin wants someone to go with him, I don't mind. I don't know if I'd be more of a hindrance, though. I'm not particularly great at stealth and subterfuge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was going to come back.
Me either.
We just got split off, so I'll come when the scene changes. I'll come ask you guys.
Okay. Well, I'll say that you guys are poking and prodding the guy and trying to get more information, and you get the impression that you've basically squeezed him dry of whatever he might know. Which is unfortunately not a lot. If you had taken Grigonis captive, you might be able to get some more information than this, but...
Probably doesn't help that Docker actually squeezed him dry, so he...
yeah, he's dead now.
He's very dry.
He's a husk.
Squeeze too hard, Docker.
You flick too hard, damn it!
Here, the cow milks you.
Well, Raven will, with the help of a couple of townsfolk, haul him off to a place where they can lock him up securely. They don't really have a prison or anything like that, but they work out somebody's barn or something they can throw a lock on and put him under guard. And they leave you to the inn to do whatever it is you're going to do, plan-wise.
So I'll come over from talking to her then. She's leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she leaves with the
So,
prisoner. She's going to head off with them to Declan, I mean.
So they've asked if we'd be willing to go scout out the enemy, see what they're up to. I volunteered. Is anybody interested in coming with me?
Yes.
I could. Yeah, if you think I won't be a hindrance, I would. But I wouldn't want to slow things down or increase the chances of getting caught.
Well, I can get in and out of the camp unseen, I believe. But if things go sideways, it'd be a big help to have more people save my skin.
I'm not trained in the sneaky, but I am naturally limber.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Scouting, you say?
And Docker kind of cracks his knuckles noisily.
Yes,
I look at her.
My favorite kind of scouting.
And she was offering gear. Maybe you should get some gear.
All you have to go on is west of the town of Vogler, a couple miles out. Oh, sorry, not miles. About an hour, he says.
Yeah, like New Hampshire, everything's a time away, not a
Yeah,
distance.
yeah, exactly. It's more like that. So, does anybody have like survival skill or nature skill?
Yes.
Okay. Because you would know before walking off into the woods at night that you would probably want to know those kinds of skills before you get lost in the woods. Okay, well, if you don't have any like basic gear that you need, and you probably don't. I think everybody grabbed what they wanted before the high hill battle anyway. You can make your way into the woods west of Vogler.
Vogler.
I'm going to use...
Just
just
gonna
gonna
warn
use this
you,
one
I'm
for
not
now.
gonna be hiding at all.
Well,
though.
so
I
we're
just
going
wanna
left.
see who
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are.
You're going up toward High Hill and then basically heading west from there.
Docker
Make
just said
me-
he's not going to be sneaky.
I know, I heard him. He might change his mind. Make me some survival rolls.
Oof.
Whew! All right, that's good enough.
Good job.
All right, as you head west, it doesn't take you long, Rin. After about an hour of walking northwestish, you spot some tracks. Whoever was moving through here didn't know how to cover their tracks well, or I mean, well enough to fool Chamfred, but not well enough to fool you.
That's
I
good.
I was only
Um,
successful in finding a bush to pee on.
Yes, you find some boot prints and some clawed reptilian feet prints. Mostly marching single file. So this would have been more of a scouting troop and not an army necessarily. But as you follow the tracks from the woods into the hills northwest of Fogler, you start to realize you're coming up on the edge of like a bluff, right? A ledge, and it's overlooking a valley. Immediately, you notice in the distance dozens of fires illuminating hundreds of red tents. And from up here on the bluff, you can see patrols of shadowy human-like figures, most of them hooded. It would take you quite a while to count, but you're looking at several hundred, if not close to 1,000.
My. Well, this isn't good for the city at all.
No.
Can we tell approximately using survival how long they have been camped here?
Yeah, give me a survival roll.
Blech.
It doesn't look like
Damn
it's
it,
been
Bessel.
that long, right? Right. You're too far away to get a good idea, but the ground is pretty heavily trampled. Any vegetation in between the 10 areas is long gone, so you can assume a few days at least,
Okay.
if not longer.
Now I have not seen a draconian before,
No,
so this
Nor
would be
has,
all new to me.
yeah, it's just these two have, yeah.
Mhm.
But from up
We're
here,
just
you
seeing
can't
over it.
actually see any draconians. If there are any there, they are keeping their dragonness under wraps,
Okay.
like under little wraps.
We need to know more. This is not good.
Well, they don't look like minotaurs to me, which is what I was wondering.
Well, thank you for that insight.
We definitely should not all go down there. In case we get caught, somebody should be able to go back to town and tell them what's going on here. But I did say I would scout it, so I'm gonna go in.
You can notice from here that there are regular patrols. There is a regimented, organized quality to this army. It's not like a haphazard camp of mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
You see like groups reporting to like the command tent in the center, and they're constantly going out and walking around. And even as you're watching, you see a patrol walk along the base of the bluff that you're up and over. So basically what I'm saying is you get the impression that if all of you tried to approach and even one of you is seen, you're not going to lure away a patrol. What you're going to get is an alarm.
Right. That's why. Now, don't everybody become alarmed. But I've learned some things from my god. And there's no easy way to say this. And I turned into a cat. Just like Baldur's Gate. That's how we'll lure them all the way. I'll just go out there and go, "Meow," and they'll all start following me away.
Wait, did he just turn into a cat?
Yes, I did.
It would appear so.
Says
oh yeah,
the
you
cat.
can talk in the animal form, right?
Yeah, baby. I can even cast some spells in this form. Strangely enough.
That's
Oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
I'm gonna go in and
You
see.
used to need like a feat or something to do that.
You had to get to level 18, I think.
I think in 3.5 it was a feat, and then
Oh.
14 it was you might have had to get to a certain level or something.
I thought you meant in 5. I like to choose the telepathy feat so I could at least do that for, but anyway, so are some of you gonna go back and report on this, or are you all gonna wait here for me to go in? Is anybody going in with me? Except Docker?
I can't turn into a cat, so
I will get as close as I can without, like, needing to be,
It's okay if nobody else wants to go. You're not all cats.
Yeah, I can't stealth in. I mean, I could try to stealth, but I'm not trained in it, so. I just want to try and keep eyes on you and be close enough so that I can tell if you're in danger and need help.
Probably most likely is if they're hungry. Alright, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to best do this, so I'm gonna start stealthing my way into the camp as a cat.
Okay. Well, look at the cat stats. Does it have?
The
Like,
stealth is the
specifically a
same
stat
as my
for a cat?
stealth, actually. Strangely
Okay.
enough. It's a +4.
I'm going to give you advantage because you're a size
need
small.
to stealth.
Right. Yeah, make me a stealth check with advantage.
Hey, kitty. Be an advantage, kitty.
As you are working your way down the bluff and around toward the camp, what exactly are you trying to get, or where are you trying to go?
Alright, so my thought was that I would start walking from the outside of camp first to try and get a lay of the land, so to speak.
Okay.
And if I happen to get lucky enough to see something like looks like a command tent or anything like
So
that.
from the bluffs overhead, you could see the command tent, but it's at the center of the camp.
Okay.
Um,
Is it dark enough that a cat could
well,
possibly?
there are campfires all over the place.
Okay.
It's a fairly well lit battle camp kind of thing, like you'd see in Game of Thrones or whatever it is. You got your bonfires all scattered about. So you don't think you won't be seen. It's whether or not
They care about a cat.
they find a cat in the middle of the woods. Could go either way. You don't know.
That's not uncommon. Male cats typically
Yeah.
have a very large.
Balls.
Yes, they have a
Yeah.
very large territory. Typically, like if
Yeah.
you have a cat and have a litter with multiple different colored cats, it's because it's multiple different fathers.
Hmm.
They would travel like 100-mile paths from farm to farm to.
Yeah, they are the
Bang,
biggest. I think they've said that they're the biggest cause of extinctions in in small animals and birds and stuff over the centuries. It's why they recommend if you have cats, you keep them indoors, because Outdoor cats can terrorize a neighborhood.
Yes.
It's true. So I'm gonna say you get into camp and you are spotted by a couple soldiers and they don't seem to care.
I'll purr
But
up at them like I'm looking for food.
none of them seem interested in giving affection to a cat.
Okay.
And you narrowly dodge a couple boots.
Okay.
The general temperament here is not friendly, but you do get a look at a couple of the more hooded and cloaked figures, and you see scales, and you see the glint of cat-like reptilian eyes, the occasional snout poking through a hood as one snarls to one of the other soldiers. But there's a lot of humans as well.
All right. Well, I will give those dragon people a wide berth once I determine what they are based upon how they're dressed.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna say you can get close to the command tent. But there's like a big open space between the command tent and everything surrounding it for probably defensive purposes or whatnot. And so while you've been able to kind of intermingle with the regular tents and the rank and file and whatnot, you think that maybe approaching the command tent, especially trying to look, there's no way to look nonchalant about it. You'd have to walk right toward it.
right.
There's nothing you can weave through.
Yeah.
A
lot more dangerous.
Yes, but I will give you an opportunity to see somebody that the adventure wouldn't have you be seeing this early in it, because I'm going to go my own route.
You can go your own way. Should I roll
as you
anything, or-
no,
Just had that same song. Fuck.
I'm gonna give it to you. As you approach, you hear like a shout inside the command tent, in common, and it's like, I don't care if they failed. That town falls tomorrow.
Oh.
And the tent flap flies open, and you see coming through the tent flap, standing there for a moment, looking as badass as the leader of the bad guys can look. Where did that go? I had a nice cool picture and everything. Oh. Where is it? Oh, I'm actually going to give you something else you can see. That's going to be fun. Because it gives you a little taste of what's coming. I was literally just looking at this section. Ah, here we go. Here we go. You see this woman. Share with players. Wearing black armor, trimmed in gold. A lot of the soldiers around are wearing black and red, and there's definitely a red theme, lots of red banners. You even catch a mention of the Red Dragon Army, though you haven't actually seen anything that would match a red dragon, because those are mythological and not real.
Yes. So we're talking
but-
cats.
But as this woman is like surveying the camp, you notice that her left eye just is glowing a bright red.
All right.
I don't normally do that.
I am
And as
going
you-
to back
Okay.
away into
Okay.
deeper shadow.
Okay.
I am going to stay slightly longer to hopefully catch a name, but yeah, I'm about
I would
ready to go.
Yeah, you don't catch a name, but you do happen to see on your way out a massive siege machine that is being worked on by 4 of the Draconians. It looks kind of like it's supposed to be shaped after a dragon. And you can see the occasional gouts of fire shooting out through some exhaust ports on the back of it.
Okay. All right.
and it's
Well,
on wheels, so you
Rin,
know it's a siege machine of some kind.
Rin is out of here.
Okay.
He is going to, in all stealthy cat fashion, running back to where his friends are.
Mm-hmm. Make another stealth roll, just for
Friends.
shits and giggles,
Friends.
without advantage because you're trying to move quickly.
No advantage but you, cat.
Now, what are the rest of you doing while he's scouting? Are you still waiting?
Waiting.
Nice. Perched up on the hill. Okay.
I'm probably lying down in hopes of not being spotted.
Yeah, you're also up on a raised bluff, so you can kind of lay crouched and peer over the side. Docker just standing there, arms crossed against the moon behind him. just highlighted. No.
It's a cow moon tonight. That's what that is.
That's a good omen.
Yeah. Okay. So you sneak back up to the top of the bluff. You see the three of them crouched at the edge of the cliff watching.
Get out of here now and get back to town.
What'd you find out?
They're attacking tomorrow. And they have some very scary machines that look like they could actually badly damage the city. Like
What
war machines.
kind of- Yeah. Like a catapult, a mangonel, a trebuchet.
Trebuchet? Is that the closest? With fire flowing out the back?
More of a battering ram,
Battering
But-
ram?
but with fire in front of it.
Oh, in front of it. I thought you said out the back.
Well, it's both. It looks like this.
Oh, that's
Oh, shit.
beautiful. Yeah, I'll describe that.
Well, that's not fun. Let's go.
In
Yes.
fact, I probably shouldn't show that because it has the stats of it. So close it. Close it up again.
I closed it.
Close it. X. All right.
I just noticed that it wasn't a handout. It's like the whole straight up doodad. I'm like,
Well,
"Ah,
luckily
man."
it only shows the image when it pops up. So
Right.
Yeah.
to start, I mean.
It's possible if you scroll down and see more, but I didn't
Right.
do that.
Well, and of course, how many hundreds of soldiers are they? Are those wizard people again?
There's definitely some strange lizard people there. Lots of them, but there are a lot of humans too, including, and I describe fire eyes there.
Okay.
Tell what race she was?
She looked human.
Okay.
She's
There's not a
humming.
lot of diverse races in Dragonlance.
Except
Well-
for Minotaurs.
Any of you people know who these weirdos are or what they're doing here?
No, but I don't think this is the best place to talk about it.
Let's go.
Alright. You scurry your asses back to Vogler. And go head back to the brass crab for a fitful attempt at sleep.
Is there not someone we should report this to?
Yeah, I'm
for
gonna
them?
go
Yeah.
wake her up.
Wake the mayor up.
Yes. I don't
Okay.
think she should wait
When
till
didn't they say they
tomorrow.
were attacking tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you head to the mayor's house. I think I even have a map for the mayor's house.
I'll even
Mayor's home.
on the way in, I'll tell every guard I see that there's an army on its way. You know,
You don't want to start to panic.
I do.
The funny thing
I
is,
do.
you don't see any guards. There's not really a town guard. Cudgel's mercenaries was the closest thing they had to a town guard.
So maybe evacuate under cover of darkness?
I've got you. Who else is? Oh, Docker. Yeah.
You said thousands of people, right?
It looks to be about 1,000 at least. Yeah.
How many? What's the population of the town? It's probably way less than that.
Like 500.
She's like, oh, this must be important if you're waking me up.
No, we're just asking about decorations or something.
There's an army with at least 1,000. Not all of them human, and they're all coming here to attack us tomorrow. Is that important enough?
That's... we can't hold off 1,000.
Especially not with their war machines. Spitting flame.
Siege engines.
What could they want with our little fishing town?
I don't know. But they know that the attack failed, and they said that the town will be attacked tomorrow.
I have to get Becklin. We have to figure out what to do. Okay, let's see. Let me skim this. How is she going to handle this?
The power of cheese.
Right? She says, well, then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go find some of the... Listen, head back to the Brass Crab. Try to get as much sleep as you can. I will figure out what to do. I will wake you when I need you. But if there is an attack tomorrow, you're going to need to be rested. Because you're probably the only defenses we have until we can get Cudgel and her mercenaries here.
I look at everybody else. What? Hey, have you guys heard of this town down the road?
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be enough unless she's
I
got
wonder
a
what's
few-
on the eastern side of this.
Did they look like they were
village.
readying to march now?
They said that they were going to attack. Did they look like they were actually readying?
I mean, not terribly. They might... You're not a military trained person.
No, I am not.
And your military soldier guy didn't come with you.
He sucks.
So it's kind of hard to
came.
know. Well,
I
yeah,
have
you're not...
a soldier background.
That's true, you are a fighter. What's your intelligence? What's your...
Low.
Yeah, so it's still above average. 10 is average. From your
Yeah,
experience...
my background is soldier.
Okay, right. From your experience, it takes hours to ready a force that large to move. So if they're planning on being here tomorrow, you've got at least half a day.
Huh.
And if they're going to roll that siege engine through the woods, you've probably got all day. When they said tomorrow, you're thinking sundown tomorrow kind of thing.
Let's sleep on it then.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
You do see that she's gotten a little stirred up now, so she gets dressed quickly and heads out to go find some of her more reliable members to watch the.
So she walks away like, all right, we've got just enough time to pack our bags and get out.
All right, so
We get to the
Following-
next town like a week later. It's like, oh, did you hear Vogler fell? Oh no, I didn't hear anything. Well, where's Vogler? Never
Nope.
heard of Vogler.
That's awful. Poor town. Who knew? So the following morning, I should add Cudgel. That's not how you spell it. It's E-L. Oh, and she brought her lieutenant too. Oh, let's see. All right. Let's change the music up. Let's go with this one. All right. Becklin is here. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's here. Early morning, 8 a.m. You are woken up, if you even slept, to the sounds of the mayor and Becklin loudly conferring with Cudgel and someone you haven't met yet. And Raven is saying, no, I had scouts report last night that it's over 1,000 troops. Well, how are we supposed to handle that? Well, blah, blah, blah. And they argue when they see you come out of the room. She is shocked.
Evacuation?
She was shocked about the report. And she asks you everything she can. This is Becklin. Asks you everything she can get about the forces that you saw. She asks more pointed questions because she is, Salamnic Knight trained. And every answer that you give seems to disturb her a little bit more. Raven says, is there a chance we could draw up a letter of neutrality and maybe beseech the army to pass us by? Like, we don't mean them a threat. And as she's having that conversation, that's when Cudgel and her Lieutenant Jaev arrive.
Yeah, I don't
She
think
said-
the neutrality thing. I mean, they sounded kind of pissed from what Ryan
Yeah.
Rin. Yeah, from what Rin said.
Cudgel says, the Ironclad Regiment is all good. The traitors have been weeded out. We found a few stragglers, but they're not going to be a threat to anyone anymore. You don't like the ominous finality of that statement. We ran into a small force of mounted soldiers on our way here, but they took off into the woods. I feel like they might have been a scout troop. And at that point, Becklin starts filling in Cudgel on everything you've told her. And she just does her dwarven armed crossed tough girl pose. Did you mention retreating to any of the leaders?
I would suggest evacuation might be a good strategy. I don't know where they would evacuate to.
Becklin perks up, and she kind of points at you like he's onto something. Raven's like, I've lived here all my life. I can't abandon the town. I can't abandon 400
Maybe
people.
if you don't want to, even if you want to stay and defend the town, like, I would still evacuate people who are non-combatants.
It's not long into this conversation when there was a horn blast in the distance. And within minutes, the front door to the grass crab flies open, and a townsperson runs in. He's like, Mayor, there's a messenger at the gate wishes to speak with you. He's demanding to speak to the leader of the village. Actually, she is demanding to speak to a leader of the village. Ignore the token because it looks like a dude. Like
advanced tardy, or
like beard and everything, it looks like a dude, right? But that's just the generic token that they gave to all the soldiers.
Right.
But this one happens to be a woman. You all kind of rush as a congregation. I keep putting these two. I put them into everything. Get out of here, you guys. You're not here. Oh, I can drag Jamie back on. He is here.
Jamie's here.
Am I really here?
I hope
don't know.
so.
You sound like you're here.
I'm gonna go see if pizza's done. Why don't you catch him up for a minute? I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll let you guys catch him up because it's more fun that way.
We're gonna die.
There we go. That's it. There's an army coming.
There's an army heading this way tomorrow. So we're trying to decide what we should have these townspeople do. We're talking to the leaders and stuff.
Well, more like today, and it's over 1,000 people, both humans and draconians.
Oh, today,
and
yeah.
they have a flamethrower dragon machine.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome if it wasn't.
Pointed at us.
If it was on our side, it would be pretty cool.
And why is there an army coming this way?
They're mad that the previous people failed to take over.
We don't know that much about it, or why, or who they are. But there's an army led by some woman.
With a burning
A
red
woman, he says.
eye.
Red eye.
Well, and they keep calling themselves the Red Dragon Army.
She was not a DEI hire.
No, it's merit based for sure. All right, well, Chris is checking pizza, but I'm going to do this anyway because you've pretty much caught him up. Yeah, they went out and Rin turned into a cat in front of everybody and snuck into the camp. And gained a lot of knowledge that the adventure wouldn't have you know yet, but it makes sense.
And then our mayor said, don't worry about it. Go ahead and go to sleep. We'll talk about it in the morning.
Rest up, you're going to need it. All right. So beneath the carvings of leaping fish etched into Vogler's open wooden gate, there is a human in black and red scale mail sitting astride an armored warhorse. She holds out a rolled parchment and calls out, "Who among you speaks for this village?" Raven raises her hand. She says, "I do." And she kind of cautiously takes a step forward. There's a moment where Becklin kind of reaches out like, maybe you don't want to... Oh, all right, she's gone. And she walks up and she takes the missive. And she walks back as she's unrolling it and she's reading it. And she's kind of cocked her head. She hands it over to Becklin. Becklin reads it. And then she turns to you and she reads it aloud. It says, "People of Vogler, by the orders of Belephaon, the voice of Takesis, you will quarter the soldiers of the Invincible Red Army this night. Refuse and die. This is the Dragon Queen's will. Those proficient in religion," it says, "recognize the name Takesis." I'm not sure if anyone else besides the druid is
I'm not even
trained in
proficient.
religion. You're not even proficient in it, so you probably won't even
Yeah.
necessarily know. Actually, you can make a religion roll. Everybody can make a religion roll. I'll give you that. It's not a given. Ooh. So, in your research, Brian, you have heard of who Takesis is. And not only that, you notice that the rider on the horse actually has a symbol of Takesis around her neck.
So how come she looks so much like a man with a beard?
I don't know, because that's the token I got. All Dragon Army soldiers are that token. I even checked to see if it was rollable in case I could flip it to a girl, but no. And I wasn't going to go that far.
All Dragon Army soldiers are men with beards, even if they're women.
As she reads that, the woman on the horse calls out, "You will vacate your homes this night, and the Red Dragon Army will come in, and we will quarter ourselves here before we move. If you comply, there will be relatively little bloodshed."
Relatively little.
He's implying there's still going to be bloodshed even if they do comply.
Hey, what if he doesn't come? She doesn't go back.
As if she's reading your mind. She says, "If anyone has any thoughts of rebellion, know that you are being watched." And she holds her left fist up like this. And then over the bluffs above. Oops, did I do that right? No, I didn't. Yes, I did.
A whole lot of women with beards show up.
Four more Dragon Army soldiers appear on the bluffs. You can't tell what they're armed with. They're just making themselves visible so you know they're there.
Let's see. This is why I didn't think we should sleep.
The armored soldier says, "At sundown, we will arrive. You have been informed." And then she turns and she rides off, leaving the four on the cliffside. I mean, they duck out of sight, but you know that they're still there.
Oh,
What?
who the hell are those people they talked about?
Actually, I'll just move
The
it back.
people in the army.
Well, I could tell you Takisa's that's not good. She
Okay,
is
who's Takesha?
the meanest and cruelest of the deities. Patron of tyrants, people who seek power and such. She's a mean, cruel, five-headed dragon.
In other normal circumstances, you would think this was all full of shit, but with Rin recently displaying evidence of the gods returning, then it becomes a little bit more potentially threatening.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I thought your gods were gone and dragons were missed.
Well, I thought minotaurs were myths too, but here we are.
It appears they
I know.
are
Mythotaur.
I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Well, sorry to disappoint you.
Mythotaurs.
Minotaurs. Well, I'm gonna pee since everybody just bailed.
Yeah.
Yes!
At least I'm not a minotaur.
You are a minotaur.
I like how there's just a strange void in part of Jim's background now.
Oh yeah, there's clearly an evil spirit haunting his office. So she said, evacuate the town and there will be less bloodshed.
Let them quarter and it'll be less bloodshed.
Wait, who said evacuate?
The lady, the messenger.
Yeah. She said, as long as we evacuate, there will be minimum bloodshed.
I thought she said
Evacuate.
as long as we allowed them to quarter.
Yeah, they want a
No,
quarter here. They want
We
you out of your
evacuate
houses.
until they're done quartering. Until they move on.
They want to use the houses. They want you out of into the streets or whatever it takes. Yeah, you kind of have a little convene moment here.
And they have a dragon machine that shoots
It's like a
fire.
battering ram that breathes fire. It's like that one from Lord of the Rings, so. Well, instead of looking like a wolf, it looks like a dragon.
Let's sneak into their camp and disable. I mean, I can't think of the word.
Incapacitated?
Well,
Make
there's
it
a
go
1,000
boom.
of them.
Make it go boom.
Commandeer it.
Yeah, there's roughly
There's-
1,000 troops.
And there's
And they-
like kind
and
of
they're-
just us.
Yeah, they're functioning as a military unit too.
That's okay. Ben's
Alright,
got
well, at this point, Becklin says, "Yeah, I think evacuating the city might be the best idea. I think you had the right of it. Hereford, Raven's like, but I don't know. These people, they're not going to want to leave. We've most of us have lived here our whole lives. This is everything we have. Cudgels says, well, I can bring the Ironclad Regiment here. We can at least buy time. If it is 1,000, like you say, we don't have enough to defeat them, but we can perform a holding action.
Right?
If that's what it takes to save Vogler or the people here. I love
Vogler
this town.
is not a place, it's a people.
There you go. There you go. But we're talking
Yeah,
400
worried
people
about-
to evacuate. I don't know if we have. I mean, the only place we could go is Calaman. That's a day down the river. On foot, we'd surely be caught.
Doesn't sound like they want to catch us, they just want us to let them have what they want.
Do you really think they're going to let everyone live? From what
They
you
said the
said you heard,
bloodshed would be minimal.
from what
Which
you said
means
you heard
there'd
last night,
still
it
be
sounds
bloodshed.
like, yeah.
I think the children and the infirm should take the boats out of here, and the rest of us should try to get away through the woods.
Well, and this is Cudgel. If I'm going to get to the army if I'm going to get to my army without this army knowing about it, we might have to do something about them. And she kind of gestures over her back up at the cliff. Maybe we should be having this discussion on the other side of this house where they can't see us.
And how big's your army?
I can't just grant. Oh, there we go. I have a few hundred. It's not enough to defeat 1,000, but we're well trained. We're scrappy.
Well, more than I expected.
If you don't look like a soldier, maybe I can help lead you out of here and through the woods to your army.
That is true. What do you propose? I don't think they're going to let anyone through those gates right now.
Yeah, there's only 4 of them, though.
Is that the only way out of this town is through the gates?
And the river.
Exactly.
If we look at the Vogler map, it's kind of on a little peninsula here. So you got the cliffs, you got the road, and then you got the river. And you have the ferry that takes you over to the other side of the island if you want to take the road to Calaman.
Well, on the road that goes to the Thornwall Keep, gets you up above the road.
That's
So.
true. And there's the gnome flinger.
But our first priority should be getting the children out of the city, whatever boats we get our hands on.
Well, can you turn Cudgel into a cat?
I cannot.
You could do. Wait, say what?
Ixnay on the cat day.
All right, well, if we're going to evacuate, says Raven, seemingly resigned to this decision, we're going to have to gather the villagers and let them know what's going on. We're going to have to figure out if we have enough ships for 400 villagers. And we're going to have to keep them calm. Because the last thing we need is a panic.
Were they crossing the channel down here?
Yeah, it's like a series of little boats on a winch system that is constantly rotating.
So
It
you'd
does
have
not move
you'd
quickly.
be able to take multiple trips. You didn't have to fit them all on one boat.
Right. But it's only going to take you to the mainland on the other side.
Right.
They're still going to be close.
As far as the guys up here,
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to try and send a party up, scale the cliffs over here, and cut around behind them.
That
if we
is an
wanted to
option.
deal with them. Although we could also take the left side, and then you'd have to cross the road. So you'd have to go up further north. I don't know which direction would make more sense.
Do the cliffs on the west side here, like, are there other cliffs bordering the north just off the map somewhere, or do
If-
these cliffs connect?
You ask them, and somebody will tell you that if you take a boat and you sail about a half a mile up along the coast, the ground gradually comes down to river level. So you could take a boat and then hike back and potentially sneak up on them. Chris's inner child keeps eyeing the gnome flinger.
What can we launch through that?
People,
Gnomes.
it's. Did you not see the handout?
It
I shared
says
it with you.
gnomes.
I did.
Well, we don't have any gnomes.
Well, they got the filters.
I'll
in
show
them.
you again. Whee!
Is that thing steam powered?
More
Looks
of
like it.
torsion and springs, and maybe a little
It's
steam.
smoking. Maybe it's coal powered.
Oh yeah, I see the vents. It doesn't actually tell me how it's powered, but it tells me what it does.
It's gnome powered.
It is gnome powered. There is a gnome that works on it, and he would be happy to let you use it.
Flaying the only gnome
In
we
fact,
have.
he'll be overjoyed to get to try it out.
Does this town have any explosives or something we could launch from it?
That's not going to be a quiet method of anything.
No,
If the idea is to take them out quietly, which I assumed it was.
I meant later if we have to deal with the
Oh.
army.
The town doesn't really have a lot of offensive
No,
stuff, especially not kegs of smoke powder or anything like that.
do they have just regular flour?
Are we gonna start playing with chemistry here and teach the DM how you can create homemade bombs and things?
You know, I was wondering if you could just launch regular wheat
Oh.
flour to make a smoke screen.
Like a smoke screen? Hey, maybe.
So, what is Becklin suggesting we do?
She, if asked, will suggest that we get the town prepared to evacuate. We find as many boats as we can, see if we can't scrounge up enough to carry everyone, and then we do an orderly, measured evacuation throughout the day until everyone's out of the town, hopefully before the army shows up. Cudgel wants to sneak out, and she's ready to just go now, even if you leave the guards up on the cliff and take her chances. We could try to sneak.
Where is her army situated?
About a mile north of Vogler.
So we'd have to sneak out around the left side and go up past where the cliffs die down.
Yeah, I mean, she could just take
How-
a boat up there potentially.
How strong is that army?
It's only a few hundred, so it's not enough to defeat the Dragon Army. She's hoping more to either slow them down or at least divert the main force. Try to give them a little bit of a chase to buy the town some time.
That's what I was thinking was probably our best chance to get these people out is some sort of delay.
Mm.
So I think we should.
Believe it or not, I wish if we were playing in person, this is where the board game comes in, because you can literally play the delaying action to see how much stuff you can buy and how many people you can get out through the board game, which is great. But there's no nice tabletop way to play it on the computer, so I'm following the books. If you don't have the box set, these are the encounters you run and whatnot.
I mean, tabletop simulator.
Yeah, it's a weird game though. I don't know if you've ever seen it's almost like Risk, where you've got these units that represent whole armies. And then you roll dice based on that stuff. Plus you have individual character actions as you move from tile to tile to affect the battles. It's interesting. I haven't tried it yet. Everything's still in its unpunched out of their sheets. I think when Chris comes out, we'll run a couple of the scenarios just to see how they go.
So,
Alright.
do we want to split into 2 units? One trying to smuggle Specklin out,
Cudgel
Sure.
wants to get out
Cudgel?
the front.
out to get her army, and then the other one focused on organizing townspeople to get out? Or can they do that themselves?
Honestly, I don't know how much we add to that part of things. It's more of a numbers game, right?
I think the
Yeah,
leaders
there's-
of the town could probably handle that part.
There's a few things you can do. Because, well, okay, let's do it this way. While you're trying to decide what to do, you lose sight of Cudgel. Chris, go ahead.
So, maybe, Cudgel, if you, write a letter, then maybe our, Catman can bring it to them.
I would rather lead them myself. No. Besides, my lieutenant is here. One of us has to be there.
Fair enough. Just thinking to bring them here, but...
Well, I do think that getting you to that army to slow down their army is the best chance this town has.
I agree.
And I would like to help you get there. And help however we can to slow them down.
Well, you would be better served helping get these townspeople out, but if you can get me out of the city gates without those guys seeing me, that would be very helpful. But yeah, if you, like I said, if she is left to her own devices, she will just go. But if you suggest being stealthier, she's willing to take a boat and go up the long way. It's going to add a few, maybe an hour to her travel to the
But
camp.
can we try to stealth? Are you saying like there's no chance at all to like stealth up like Thornwall area, go along the cliff that way?
To get onto the cliff that they're on? Oh, you mean to get her out?
Yeah, to go
Oh.
up Thornwall Keep.
No,
How many
I
people
see.
are outside the gate?
4.
there's
They're
four
right
on,
over here.
There's 4
to
on the wall. Yep, they're 4.
But they're on the opposite side of the road, is
Right.
what I'm saying. So if we went the
Right,
other
I
way
see
and
what you're
stealth, I can maybe get
That's
her
true.
out.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah. Let's go ahead.
We can just distract them.
That would be very helpful.
That is true. What do you suggest?
Start forest fire? No, I'm kidding.
We're in the
Only
city.
you can start forest fires.
They won't
Burn
want to
your
come.
own city.
They won't want to
so
come
they can't
now.
Stay here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Start a fight, maybe?
Take
With who?
pot
Just
shots at
them?
them from down below.
I don't know. I'm not very persuasive, so throwing a punch is what I got.
Right. We can go up the Thornwall Keep Road over here, and that gets us onto this cliff, and then we could try and, I don't know,
Well,
Go across or go up further and sneak
Nobody
around?
has like featherfall or any type of
No.
invisibility or.
okay.
No.
So
level 2.
They're
Not
Free,
even
that's
stealthy.
free now.
they're over here on this part,
Right.
and we don't want them to look at the Thornwall Keep if I'm stealthing her up that side. So we want them to look, east. So if you're trying to do something to
Right.
distract them, we want them to look that way while we go this way.
How about
Yeah, that's what I was saying before.
how
if you
about
could
how
scale
about
the cliff
tribute?
over
What if
here.
we provide some type of tribute for them to bring back to their camp?
I vote knocker. I'm sorry,
Like-
Docker.
Like a couple keg
Bring to you this holy cow.
like this, like a couple kegs of ale or something.
Still have to get it up to the wall where they are. They're basically
Yeah,
on a cliff overlooking the town.
Well, then they would have to come down and collect it.
Well, I don't
Or-
think they would, because their whole point is to stand here and watch us evacuate. And if we try anything funny, presumably, including starting combat from a distance, one of them will try to run away and alert their army. In which case, they might send an advance unit. Because they can't get the whole army here immediately.
Well, we could
Um,
try to fling them a keg of ale or two, but they might take that the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't know if we can. Maybe we fling a gnome at
I
him.
was gonna say, fling a gnome. There you go.
Maybe we fling a minotaur at him.
If you fling a keg of ale, there's a good chance it'll break when it hits the ground.
Tar, oil, light it with a flaming arrow.
It's almost like you guys don't want to climb into the gnome flinger.
I'm
the
not
worst
so
that can
worried
happen.
about the flinging. I'm more worried about the landing.
What?
Well, are you guys going to try to distract them in some way?
Distract or engage.
Engaging from down here might be tricky, like you said.
Yeah, there's too much of a risk that one of them will just run away and report back. I think we have two options. Either A, we try to sneak Cudgel out before we engage them. That way, if we do engage them and one of them gets away, they'll bring a piece of their army, maybe a smaller piece, that Cudgel's forces can deal with. So we're not dealing with so we can take a bite out of them before the force gets here.
Well, I could try talking to these people. Maybe see
Wouldn't
if I can
recommend it.
distract them.
I think he's suggesting just like yelling at them,
Yeah.
just to get them looking at him.
Well,
A Minotaur taunter.
I mean, I'm sure they've got a few tall tales with whoever it is.
Go for it.
Why is the gnome thrower like
pointing at them.
Aimed suspiciously
Directly
at
at
them.
them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't make the map.
Oh, so it's not that far.
Although Tessa's little tokens thing also gave me a gnome flinger token that I can aim. If I just
Looks a
put it.
little. Oh, there it goes.
Although now I can't rotate it. There we go.
I'm pretty sure the falling damage would kill almost any of us.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Not necessarily if you had a flat trajectory.
Well, I think that's a
Did
theory
I
you
hear
should
someone
test.
mention my gnome flinger? A gnome comes wandering over. It's like, what?
What
hear
else
someone
could
wonder?
it fling?
Uh,
What's the max weight capacity?
roughly 500 pounds, give or take.
That's a big gnome.
Well, it doesn't just fling gnomes. I bet we could fling minotaurs.
It does sound fun.
Do you have any kind of how do you deal with the landings?
Oh, right. I almost forgot. I have nary crashes.
Eh?
So they're like a backpack. When you're close to landing, you pull a ripcord, and some balloons pop out the top.
Have you tested these?
Kind of looks something like this.
Have you tested them yet?
Not yet, but I'm sure they'll work.
They always are.
Just don't roll a 5 or less on a d20.
Who wants to gamble on a gnome?
Hey, those are some good odds right there.
I mean, I'm ranged, so I can shoot from the gnome flinger tower.
Good. Well, yeah, you could. I thought you meant from the parachute. Shoot there.
But
How many people could the backpack
that won't
hold?
keep them from running away.
It's one each. I happen to have 6 of them.
Well, that would be
And
distracting.
All right. Who wants to roll the dice on a gnome flinger?
Oh no, I'm gonna be doing the safe work of sneaking out of town.
Well, that's why I asked who.
I volunteer. This sounds fun.
Do you really
No.
need more than one of you to fling to get their attention?
Well, you're gonna land up on.
I'm
the
not that. I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart. You can sign me up for it.
All right.
Are these people up there? Do they look human or
Yeah,
like
they all look human.
Okay, so they won't explode
No, not
on
generally.
their own. I mean,
Maybe with a little help.
Anything can explode if you do it right.
right?
I mean, you guys have seen The Boys, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Beginning of season 2.
There are ways. I was even
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
season 1 when they killed the invisible guy there by stuffing it up his ass. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Talking
god.
about
All right.
season 2 where he shrinks down and goes inside the guy and
Ah.
Thanos is him.
Oh, Thanos is him. Wow, that's yeah.
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 That was what was that? That was the whole thing
With Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Right. Okay, so what is the plan now? I'm guessing it sounds like Rin is gonna lead Cudgel out safely out of the city, while Chamford stands on top of the Thornwatch Keep and shoots arrows, while the others, or 2 of the others at least, parachute down, potentially get into combat with some Dragon Army soldiers.
Notice that the wizard is the smart one of the group.
I noticed. He hasn't spoken up yet. I'm
Yeah.
waiting to see.
How are your ranged attacks?
That's a good question. Let's see.
What range are we talking here? Yeah. Anything over 100 feet?
I got some that go 120.
Hmm.
Not one that does 90, some that do 60. 2 that do 90. Some that do 60.
Fan's like, I can launch you so you land behind the trees behind them. Maybe you can get a jump on them.
How much testing have you done on this gnome flinger?
I've got distance dialed in pretty good. You'll probably find a lot of broken barrels up there.
Well,
Yeah. How many of those barrels are actually intact?
I mean, it's a gnome flinger in theory.
Well, he's never put a
In
parachute on a
theory.
barrel, right? Have you?
No, I don't know how to train a barrel to pull a ripcord.
Okay.
Oh, that's true too.
All right.
How
There's
many
still
people
a
have you flung with this thing?
None. But it's sound. The theory's sound. Trust me.
Oh, I don't doubt the theories.
The math works out. I've done all the calculations myself. It'll be great. You'll see.
You know what? I'm going to hang back here and see how the others fare before I make a decision.
I can probably launch two at once.
Can you
How
launch
high
two with? How much does Docker weigh? Can you launch two with Docker?
I don't know. How much do you weigh?
Good question. I'm not sure that I recorded that yet.
Probably weighs like 3 something, I would think. Maybe even 400.
At least a gym.
At least a gym.
And more than
Yeah.
a few gram walks.
Definitely.
But Ben is like 19. He's not huge. So
He is armored, though.
Yeah, he is armored.
And he has a shield finally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can use that like a airfoil and just kind of glide
All
over
right.
there.
I'm gonna make my way over to the tower.
We just got back from Captain America 4, so I can imagine what you'd be doing with that shield as you're flying.
Was that any good? I heard they
It was-
reshot it like 4 times.
It was fun. They call back to some plot hooks that have been hanging since Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
So that I kind of liked. But yeah, it has issues. It could have used a couple more reshoots, or at least another pass on the dialogue, I think. There was some rushed moments. I'm like, Marvel movie under 2 hours? What's going on here? Oh.
Yeah.
But I had fun. But I
So
go for the
another-
spectacle of those movies anyway. Good.
Another
Sorry.
question: how tall is this cliff?
I don't have an exact figure, so I'm gonna say maybe 40 feet. It's not like towering. Uh-oh, did I?
Still good.
Yeah, it's decent enough that it would take like 3 or 4 climb rolls to get to the top.
It'd be a shame if someone were to fall off that cliff.
True.
Or
Well, it
if
depends on who the
4
person
people
was.
did.
More than 4 people. If it's raining Dragon Army soldiers. Someone's excited. All right, so is that,
Are we doing
is that
this?
the plan? Are we doing this?
We're doing this.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's put you and
Do we
You
have to
ready,
stand
little
on
guy?
the tower to not get noticed, or
I
are you
suppose
good
so.
with just being on the tower?
I don't have a Chamford up here. Where's Chamford?
I'm right here.
There he is. Oh, you're already on there.
Yeah,
not
I
as
said I'm
clear.
gonna move over to the tower.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you can see them over the battlement walls pretty easily. And Fan is eagerly strapping you into his Nary crashers and explaining to you how you pull it.
What kind is this idea of Ben flying down, going through the air real slow, and then these guys just go, get the pikes!
Well, that's why he aims behind the trees. All right. So it is ominous as you climb. Oops, I don't know why I'm moving you. As you climb into the stretched tarp across the wood, and it's slowly cranked. Well, it's cranked down first so you can get on it, and you see the little hisses of steam coming out the side. And Than's like, "That's normal. That's normal. It's supposed to do that." Now, hold on. This is gonna be great.
Try launching Docker with him, and he just falls short, lands right into the rock face.
He's like, "Is there anything you could lose? Like, you are a little heavy. Anything you absolutely don't need?"
Horns.
And basically has you, dropping bedrolls, backpacks, rope, anything you have on you that's not weapons or armor. He basically piles up next to the gnome flinger. Meanwhile, Cudgel and Jaev and Rin are at the base of the tower looking up, and Cudgel's like, does a salute. They were good men. Jaev's like, they haven't died yet. She's like, well, just in case. They were good men. And there's a
kind of dumb, but
and there's like, as the sun is getting just behind you, so you'll be hard to spot as you go sailing over the river gate here. There's a almost silent thump, like surprisingly quiet. And suddenly Ven and Docker find themselves hurtled at incredible speed over the gap, and maybe a little bit lower than you would have liked. But astonishingly, the soldiers don't hear it or notice it. They're too busy watching down at the town, watching the mayor, watching people talking, and don't see the two bulky humanoids sailing over their heads and going into the trees behind them. Now I want you both to roll a d20 as you pull your Nary Crashers.
And apparently don't roll a 5 or lower.
Ah!
Oh, Docker.
All right, Docker. Okay. I need you to make a dexterity save for me.
He's a rogue, right?
Yeah.
He is a rogue, but I don't think he's high.
Not a dex rogue, I thought.
Level, are you high enough level to not take falling damage or whatever that is?
I think that's a thief thing that reduces falling damage, and I don't have evasion yet, but... The question is, can I make an attack roll to try to hit one of them?
You're not that low.
Oof.
Okay. That's not good. All right, you're going to land taking 4d6 damage. 16. Is that... You're still up. You're still alive.
Barely.
He's still
All
Europe?
right. Okay, but here's where you land. I'm going to put you guys...
He broke a horn off. His legs are all skinned up.
You come down hard. You hit the dirt, and you land next to a pile of broken barrels. And slam into a tree and probably cracked a rib or two. And as you're getting bark and dirt off your horns, you see Ven kind of gently come down next to you with a big balloon behind.
Is the sound of him landing enough to distract them where I get advantage on taking a range attack?
I'm going to make some perception rolls for these guys. All right. This guy here perks up and turns around like he might have heard something. And we will roll initiative. And you've already rolled. I'm going to take that event.
Initiative.
Yep.
Docker, best distraction ever.
I'm not even going to have you, Jim, rolling stealth because, yeah, it's definitely more than enough distraction going on here.
That's okay.
And we're going to go to combat music.
By the way, is it just Cudgel or is it the lieutenant and Cudgel?
Cudgel and the lieutenant are both going.
Okay, just curious.
And she'll even discuss, as you're leading them, she's going to tell him that, once they get there, we're going to move the army, and then you're going to stay and lead them. I'm going to come back here and help these guys once we let them know what's going on.
Can I ask a question before you start combat?
Yes.
Can a war horse carry 2 people?
I think so. especially if one's a dwarf.
Okay, so I want to spring that upon them when we get into the clear to help speed up things, and then go
Okay.
ahead, do combat.
All right. So we'll go descending order, top of the round. Bezel, you go first. I will give you advantage on that one guy if you want to shoot at him.
Which one is that?
The third one in
This guy?
from the. Yep, that guy.
All right. I mean,
See
they're
within
all
short
within
range.
range, so.
Yeah. $21 is a hit.
Nice. And I get to roll damage twice.
Oh, take the
Oh,
better.
take the 9, yeah.
Take the 9. All right. He is hit just as he's turning to look to see what's behind him, and that turns him back toward you, and he shouts something and points at you. It's hard to tell from here.
Hey, everybody.
This guy, the first one in the line, is going to attempt. I'm going to say you have half cover too. Is going to
Nice.
attempt to hurl a javelin, believe it or not, which has a range of 30/120.
Mm-hmm.
So he can throw it, but it's disadvantage. So he's gonna huck a javelin, or 2 actually. He can throw 2. Wow.
In the one round?
Yep. Multi-attack.
Okay.
The first one misses, and the second one hits AC 21 for 5 piercing
Jesus.
damage. You got lucky. That's a good roll. Oh, sorry. It's 5 piercing and 2 fire damage. Apparently they're like lit javelins.
Fire lances.
Right?
So 7.
Who's... Oh, this guy doesn't belong on here. Did I not clear the initiative order? God damn it. I did not clear the initiative order. I've got everybody on here twice.
Damn it,
So
Jeremy.
that bezel's not here. What did you roll, Docker? Do you remember? I can look.
16.
Okay, you're on here only once. Rin is on here, but shouldn't be. NG's on here, but shouldn't be. Then I'm gonna get. Did you get a 15 or a 13?
I got a 13.
All right. Either way, you go with the same order. And Darrett's not here either. Okay. So it's Docker's turn.
I actually wish I had gone later.
You can hold, but that's where your new initiative will be for the rest of the combat.
Cool. Okay.
You're not first, you're last.
Okay, so yeah, you rather than readying an action, I can hold and lower my initiative.
I'm giving you that. It's not something new with the rules or anything. It's just if you're gonna hold and then run in at 10, then fine. You go on 10 now.
Okay. Yeah, I think I will hold until after then.
Okay. So I'm gonna move you down to here and change you to a 12. There you go.
As Ven is, her Docker's still kind of brushing himself off. And...
All right. The second soldier in is also going to try to throw 2 javelins toward Bezel. Much worse. 2 clatter against the side of the castle. And it is Ven's turn. Jamie, do you have an action?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna move up. Sorry, I forget. I'm
Oh.
using push to talk tonight.
Oh, okay.
Because the music downstairs is pretty loud.
Okay.
Where is the edge? I'm gonna move up to 20 feet, and then where is the edge of the cliff?
Right
Let's say
here
the
where the
grass is. I'm going to call the grass the edge of the cliff. It starts
Oh,
to
okay.
slope down. So if you,
So he's like right next to the edge.
yeah,
All right. I'm gonna. Do I have? I do not. But I can shove, right? Shove is that still?
Let's find out. No shovel. Shove aside. Hmm. Is there a push? Because shove.
I thought there
we
was a
go.
push.
Push. Player's Handbook 2024. Even. Let's see. If you. Oh, it's a weapon ability.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
There's something
Maneuver.
under
Maneuver
unarmed
pushing
attack.
I don't have that.
That's a weapon when you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon or unarmed strike, you can expend one superiority die if you have them. Oh, that's a maneuver. Pushing attack. Yeah.
Speaking of maneuvers, I took was it Battle Master or whatever? It didn't let me pick any maneuvers. There's no place for them on the character sheet. There's no expertise dice on the character sheet.
Okay.
Not sure how that's just a limitation of the current
It might be.
Roll20 or
It might be. Does every fighter get maneuver dice?
no.
No, only the battle masters do.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
It
under
doesn't
unarmed attacks. The push.
When I search for it, it's either a weapon quality or a maneuver.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that shows up on the character sheet for Battle Master is the Student of War, which gets you 2 proficiency bonuses. One for tool type and just an extra fighter skill. And that shows up under features and traits. But
I'm
we
just
can
gonna
figure
make
that
a
out
regular
later.
attack.
Okay.
Can you make like a strength check or something? Or athletics?
Yeah,
You can overrun in 2014. It was a contested athletics versus athletics or acrobatics. But that was more of a trample than it was a push.
okay. Rules
16. Does that hit?
It does not. They have scale mail and a shield.
Those jerks!
Oh, you know what? They're readying javelins, so I'm going to say they don't have their shields equipped, so that would hit. It would be a 15.
Okay, yeah. Rules definition under unarmed is shove.
Okay. Is that
What does it
2014 or
do?
2024?
24.
But what does shove do?
Yeah. Target must sustain a strength check save. Or you either push it 5 feet away or cause it to have the prone condition. Oh. Okay. I wonder why it's not showing up in the compendium when I search for it. And that would substitute your attack, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's specifically under unarmed attacks. It says you have 3 options. One is do damage, one is grapple,
Okay.
and one is shove.
Okay, so if you wanted to do that, you wouldn't be making the attack. You would just be running up and basically forcing them to make a dex save. Is that what
Yep.
you would want to have done?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. But what's the equals 8 plus your strength modifier?
8. Right.
So it would have been.
And proficiency bonus, so it's 10 plus your strength mod.
All right. So my strength mod is a 2 plus my proficiency bonus of 2. So that would have been a 12.
So 12. So dex save 12. All right. So if that's what you're doing, strength or dex save. All right. So I will try that. He does not move. Okay, that means you don't do damage because you didn't hit him with the sword.
Yep, I don't do
Okay.
anything.
Okay, it's Docker's turn now.
Okay, well, Docker is going to run over to that guy and,
Same guy.
yeah, and first he's going to hit with his, or attack with his short sword.
That's a
Do
miss.
Minotaurs get goring attack now in this edition?
Think so, yeah.
Well, there's no. Yeah. I think it 2014 or whatever it was, but yeah.
So if a 22 hit, I did the 14 damage.
Oh yes. Okay, I saw the 14. Thought that was the armor class. Nope, 22 is definitely a hit. 14 damage. He is.
Wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Okay.
I'm using hammering horns, so he has to make the save against, for me it would be DC 13.
13.
Or be pushed 10 feet.
Why did I roll with disadvantage? He makes the saving throw. He rolled an 18.
Oh, curses.
Oiled again.
All right.
That's my turn.
This guy that got hit by, I can't remember Bezel's name. That's why it was toggled disadvantage, because they're throwing javelins. He's oblivious to the guys behind him because he's got an arrow sticking in him, so he's chucking javelins at you. What is your armor class +2, Chris?
Hold on.
Because you're the only one who doesn't change your name to all the cool, helpful information.
17.
Okay, so because of the partial cover from the tower, the second javelin just misses you. And this guy that almost just got shoved off the cliff is shouting, "They're up here!" And he is going to disengage to get away from the cliff. And he switches to his longsword and his shield. And it is Kale's turn.
I was gonna do a chromatic orb.
Ooh. Okay.
Where's my attacks? I think this guy's been hit, right?
The only guy that's been hit is the one that just moved away from the cliff. Oh, and this one here. Sorry. Yeah, because Docker gored this guy, and then Bezel speared this one.
Oh, that's the one he speared.
Arrowed!
I think he's too far away from me. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna go for this guy.
Okay.
It's about as far as my chromatic orb will reach.
Okay. Is it one target, chromatic orb?
It's one target, but if I roll two of the same number on any of the damage dice, it bounces to a second target.
Ooh.
A little different than it used to be.
Yeah. Alright, so do I have to roll anything, or do you just attack?
I attack. It's an 8. That's probably a miss.
Yeah, that's a miss.
But
Range spell attack against the target. On a hit, if you roll the same number... let's see. Yeah, so it's...
that was a waste.
I am a
That's my turn.
caster! Alright, it's Bezel's turn.
Okay. Assuming it hits. On him.
Right, okay. We get
The
to this
advantage
guy.
is that he's
Edge
already
here.
dead.
Yeah. He is not sure what he wants to do here.
I'm gonna shout, make sure they don't escape!
And still attempt to chuck javelins at you. And he's like, hold them off! I got the tower! And he misses twice. And his shield and yells, "Roar!" and runs over toward Docker. This might not be good for you. Ooh, okay.